Hey, this is Rob with South Main Homes, and I'm going to go over the 6 must-have tools for the first-time homeowner or someone just getting into DIY. And I'll get to that right after this. All right, let's go over those tools. The first tool I want to tell you about, utility knife. You can pick these up really cheap at the dollar store, and if you're really on a budget, they'll do fine. I like personally, I like to have a metal body knife just because they hold up to if you're doing a lot of cutting, if you're doing a lot of craft stuff, you'll probably use that a little bit more, and it's worth an extra dollar or two to get a metal body. It doesn't have to be a really fancy one, but a metal body utility knife. Another thing, tape measure. Everybody's going to need a tape measure. I recommend getting one with a wide tape. I like the big numbers because I'm getting older and can't see real close. But the reason for the wide tape is they will extend out a very long way and hold their and not flop. You get the ones that are thinner, down there, you'll get them a 1/2 inch wide, and they'll bend. And this, it's hard to keep them in my hand. But these good wide tape, 25 feet, 30 foot, you shouldn't need any more than that. The adjustable wrench. This is an 8-inch adjustable wrench. This is not a high-end, tradesman grade adjustable wrench. And I've used this thing for at least 20 years. Still works great. Still use it on an almost daily basis. They're good for you're putting together some furniture. A lot of times, like tables, the legs go on. They'll have a couple little nuts in the back on holding the legs on. It's a great tool to put those on. Fits a lot of different size wrenches or different size nuts and bolts. Slip joint pliers, or channel locks, as a lot of people try to call them. This is the channel lock brand, which I guess they may have developed it or something. But slip joint pliers, and of course they adjust. They have the different grooves, which you close them, have a wider gap, and as you come up, they get tighter and tighter all the way down till they'll close almost completely. Kind of warp these a little bit, but I've had these over 20 years as well. And like I said, it's channel lock. They aren't that expensive. It's decent quality. Like I said, I've had them over 20 years. One thing that the last two, you don't want to really kind of go cheap on. And believe it or not, one of those is the hammer. It's the Estwing. It's not necessarily a high-end hammer, but it's a 16-ounce Estwing claw hammer. The difference between this hammer and a dollar store hammer is going to be right here. A good flat head, manufactured flat head, is worth it's worth the extra couple dollars you're going to spend to get a quality hammer, because it'll make the difference between bending all your nails and actually driving them. One other thing you don't want to necessarily cut corners on is your screwdrivers. And I'm not going to get into all the different reasons why you need decent screwdrivers, but a way to save money is to get a multi-bit screwdriver. I use these on a daily basis. I love this thing. This is a Klein. It's a decent quality. You can spend more, but you're going to have a hard time finding better quality. What makes this great is this one tool will perform 11 different functions. It's 11 in one. You have each one of these, you have 2 different bits in the tip. This little insert comes out. It's got 2 different sized Phillips in a flat, or cross point in a flat, number 1, number 2 size. Flip it over, snaps in place. You've got square tip, and you've also got Torx, 2-sized Torx bit. Well, the cool thing about this, other than just the screw type tool, is it's like a nut driver. This right here is a 1/4 inch. You can, with the hex head, it's 1/4 inch hex head, 3/8, and then flip it over back to the other side, take that insert up. That's a 5/16. So these two inserts will only fit on one side. So you've got 11 different tools in this one little kit right here. And like I said, I think they're worth their weight in gold. They're not that expensive. $15 to $20, I'm thinking. You can probably find maybe a little bit more, but this is worth it. This is better than, if you're looking on a budget, it's better than spending, you know, $35, $40 for a good solid screwdriver set. Yes, you can get screwdrivers cheaper. Don't do it. You just end up stripping screws. The screwdrivers break. There's just I can give you a million reasons, but just decent quality. It doesn't have to be the top end, but decent quality screwdriver. Go ahead and spend the money on that. Well, that's the 6 tools you need to have. Where are you going to put them in? You can, again, we're talking about trying to be on a budget a little bit. Go to the dollar store. There's where you go to the dollar store. Get you a little storage tub. Get one about 18 inches deep. Well, let's see. Actually, 13 inches. This will fit in. So, you want one 13 inches wide. Doesn't have to be real deep. You can put all your tools in it, mark tools on it, put it on a shelf. That way you can kind of keep all your tools together. You probably won't spend more than, you know, $1 or $2, maybe $5. But that's as good as a toolbox. It doesn't have a handle. But if you're doing homeowner stuff, if you're just going to be doing some crafting and you're not going to be toting this thing around, no need to spend the money on a toolbox. More than welcome to do so. It's real good. You can actually expand your tool set as you go along. But you don't need to spend a whole lot of money on it. But anyhow, that's my recommendation as the 6 tools. The first 6 tools everybody needs to get. A lot more. There's a lot of people put in there a whole lot of other things that, oh, you got to have this, you got to have that. But in my opinion, I've been doing this over 30 years. These are the 6 tools you will use more than anything else. But if you like what you saw here, if you thought this video was informative, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you can get updates whenever we post more videos. And this is Rob Stewart with South Main Homes. We'll see you later.